So as you know, June is Pride Month, which is a celebration of the LGBTQ community. Here in Chicago, we had the Pride Parade yesterday, and I know in a lot of different communities there's different events over the course of the month of June. And it's really a way to bring visibility to the LGBT community. I know a lot of people are like, well, the Pride Parade, it's just kind of crazy, and you know, there's just a lot of people dancing, and what does that mean, and why is that important? And you know, to me, as a member of the LGBT community, the reason it's important is because it gives us a chance to be who we are, to be comfortable with who we are, and to share who we are with the larger community. And that's what Pride is all about. I actually served in the military under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was a law that said that you could serve in the military, but if anyone ever found out that you were gay and lesbian or trans, that you were going to get kicked out. And so it's a really odd law that forced people to just be dishonest about themselves. And the whole idea of Don't Ask, Don't Tell was, as long as you keep it to yourself, you're fine. And that's not really what happened. What it turned into is 14,000 people being investigated and kicked out of the military, basically a witch hunt. So if you were dating somebody and that somebody and it ended badly, that person could literally call your commander and say, this person is gay or lesbian, and an investigation would happen and you would get kicked out. And it seems like when I think back on, you know, the decade and a half that we lived under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, it feels like a whole different world. Like, we've come so far in LGBT rights, and it feels like, you know, so many things have improved. We have equal marriage, and we have discrimination laws, anti-discrimination laws. But the reality is that a lot of us live in a little bubble, and we feel safe in our environment because that's where we choose to live, but it's not safe. It's not safe in a lot of different places. You can actually get fired in 28 states just for being lesbian, bisexual, or gay. You can get fired in 30 states for being transgender. And I want to focus on the transgender population because I feel like that is a population that is continually ignored and harassed and really struggling just for basic human rights. The transgender unemployment rate is 3 times higher than the national average. And on top of that, they face an incredible amount of discrimination, harassment, and you name it, at work, in their personal lives. A dear friend of mine, Charlotte Clymer, this weekend was, you know, celebrating at a bar in DC, and DC is really progressive in terms of anti-trans laws and those sorts of things. And yet, at this bar, she was asked to show ID so that she could use the correct bathroom, the bathroom that she identifies with. And she, you know, is a very well-respected activist and knows the laws, and so was able to stand up for herself, which isn't always the case. Number one, for somebody to know the laws and be able to comfortable standing up for themselves. And number two, living in a city that actually has those laws. As I said, you can get fired in 30 states for being trans. And so the police were called, and it ended up being a really awful, emotional moment that just didn't have to happen. Just with basic human kindness, you could just allow Charlotte and anyone else to be who they are. And I think that we have a long way to go, particularly for our trans brothers and sisters. And so for this month of June, I really hope that we can encourage businesses and municipalities and states to continue working on better laws to protect the trans community.